I'm going to introduce Bill and Cherie Carlson. Would you stand, please, and honor them?
Thank you, Francis, for letting us share. I just have to say really quickly that this Bill is a miracle. I guess you have to get to know him to know that, but I know him pretty well. Here.
You probably cannot turn to 10 the thing I say. When you want to have, so you cannot turn 10. My wife Cherie talk for me.
Thank you. My education and experience are in state and local government. Although I have never been an elected public office holder, I have served in top administrative posts and directly under people who are elected. I had to cut short my career due to a disability, and this sickness started in 2000. I went downhill the next 2 years, then stabilized at a much lower level. I lost all sense of balance, which put me into the wheelchair. My speech is nearly impossible to understand, and many of my motor movements are compromised. For example, I type with one finger. My eyesight is 20/20, but because everything I see is constantly in motion or double, it was too dangerous to drive. I did not want to be different, but my disabilities make me very conspicuous. I've been to several of the best doctors in the world. I've been through hundreds of tests. No one has determined the cause of my problems. The best that can be diagnosed is cerebellar degeneration. I've also been prayed for many times. The Bible tells me to rejoice at all times. It has been one of the most difficult things for me to do. I find that rejoicing is easy when good things happen, but when there are storms, failures, and setbacks, rejoicing becomes hard. Paul also says, rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. Romans 12:15. There are times when it is inappropriate to rejoice. When I first became sick, I thought I would quickly overcome it and regain my health. After all, I believe that healing occurs today, but I got worse. This period became my dark night of the soul. My prayers and those of others, including all of you, and world-famous prayer warriors, did not seem to matter. Jesus said that if we ask for anything in his name, he will do it, John 14. But when Paul pleaded for the removal of a tormentor, God refused, saying that his grace is sufficient. Job had his dark night. Everything was going well, and then he lost everything that was dear to him: his wife, his children, his health, his wealth. Despite Job's bewilderment, he was determined to hope in God, saying, God might kill me, but I have no other hope. Job 13:15. When I see something in Scripture that appears to conflict, I remember that there are balancing truths. There are 3 things I think of. First, God is sovereign and good. His thoughts are above my thoughts, Isaiah 55:9. And third, I am finite in my thinking, and I can trust God to give me some understanding of Scripture, which might apply to my circumstance. Right after teaching his disciples to pray the Lord's Prayer, Jesus continues to teach about prayer. He gives an illustration and says that our prayer should be persistent. Luke 11:5-10. God has not instructed me to stop praying, so I continue to ask him to heal me. Regardless of whether or not I am healed, I know that God will bring good out of this disability, Romans 8:28, and that I am to live the Christian life, to continue to pursue him and live for him in humility and hope. I can also say the Rock is a safe place to be limited. People not only do normal church things, but prayer is emphasized and prophecy is normal. You may be wondering how a guy with such serious disabilities can possibly encourage anyone. The answer is God. God is the author of our faith. God has responsibility to finish what he started. God chose to work through a weak and fallible man. I was told by God to write. I had no plans to do so. An Encouragement Journey is a series of 4 short books. They are based on an email that I send a couple of times a month entitled Encouragement. You can find me on Facebook.